We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those.
Something big about to happen. I hear the beat tapping.
We some fly rhyming felines rapping on the track. Better yet, grab a gat, cause we hot like Enzo. Doors closed, windows up, cause that's the way we like to ride. Windy City hitting. Check mic 1 2 1 2. We live, baby.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Hey, Chicago, and welcome back to another weekend episode of Speak Your Mind Radio. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Queen Star, aka Miss Hip Hop. And before we get started, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your listenership. It means the world to me. And if you're new, welcome to the best music review podcast around. Oh, and if you want to hear the music, download Spotify right now and listen to this episode for free. That's right, for free. Okay, guys. Today is Saturday, August 27th, 4:50 p.m. And it's currently a beautiful, hot 82 degrees outside. I want to talk to you about my favorite song from the early 80s, In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, from his first solo album, Face Value, in 1981. In this episode, I'll be discussing who Phil Collins is, why he wrote the song In the Air Tonight, and the meaning behind the lyrics, and how prevalent this song is still today. Okay, let's get started, shall we? Phil Collins, aka Philip David Charles Collins, was born in West London in January 30th of 1951 and is a 71-year-old English drummer, singer, songwriter, record producer, and even an actor. Collins began drumming at the tender age of 5 and attending drama school to become a child actor, which led him to a number of opportunities for the entertainment world. Phil Collins became one of the most successful musicians in the world during the 1980s, after replacing Peter Gabriel as the face of the progressive rock band Genius in 1975. Collins also started a career as a solo performer between 1982 and 1990. And in between that time of 1984 and 1990, Collins released 13 U.S. top 10 hits, including In the Air Tonight, You Can't Hurry Love, and I Don't Care Anymore. Collins was so precise in his career that he shot up 3 UK and 7 US number one singles, and in total, more than 40 top US records. That's more than any other artist during the 80s, baby. Which makes him one of the greatest of all times. So, what's the real story behind Phil Collins' song In the Air Tonight? And what made the song so memorable? Well, so many people question this Dynamite's record Collins wrote because there were various meanings about the single In the Air Tonight. Like, for instance, the urban legend surrounding the track In the Air Tonight dates back to when rapper Eminem wrote in his 2000 hit record Stan. The lyrics go, "You know that song by Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight, about the guy who could have saved the other guy from their drowning, but didn't, and then Phil saw it all, and then at a show he found him?" People actually went with this bizarre variation of the song. And of course, Collins denied any truth to it, stating in an interview with BBC World Service that the actual song was about him going through a divorce from his first wife, Andrea Bertalia, in 1980. And the only thing he could say about it is that it was obviously written in anger. It was the anger side of the bitter side of a separation, rather. Phil Collins said what made it even more comical is when he heard those stories, which started many, many years ago, particularly right here in America. When someone came up to him and said, "Did you really see someone drowning?" He goes, "No, wrong." And then said every time he goes back to America, the story gets stranger with Chinese whispers. That's just a game of telephone. Like, you know, when you were kids, you tell one person something, whisper in their ear, they pass it down to the next kid, and so on, so on. By the time it gets to the end of the line, the message is totally misconstrued. Yeah. Okay, so he said it gets more and more elaborate after that. And Phil said it was so frustrating because this was one song out of all the songs probably that he's ever written that he really doesn't know what it's about, you know? So what makes the song even more special is that you remember the best of the drums. Something Phil is phenomenal at doing. Doom, 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 you know? The breakdown of the song hitting the bass was fantastic. If you want to hear this song, please listen to this version of the episode on Spotify, and you will hear this joint played at the end of this program, especially if you're a lover of music like me. My mom used to play us oldies from back in the day, which is why I fell in love with music in the first place. Now, the question of the hour: why is this song so prevalent today? It's a masterpiece, that's why. And besides the song appearing on the soundtrack for the 1983 hit movie Risky Business. Plus, the Eminem song Stan I mentioned earlier. So here's an interesting fact about Phil Collins. Now, according to Rolling Stone, Phil Collins lost almost all his hearing in his left ear drumming in a 2007 Genius reunion tour. This led to a dislocated vertebrae in his neck that caused nerve damage in his hands, ultimately leaving him unable to play the drums. Now, he was physically unable to hold a stick in his hand, and many have been and may have been the reason for his 5-year retirement. Collins released an autobiography in 2016 entitled Not Dead Yet. He then rejoined Genius in 2020 for a second reunion tour that ended in March of 2022. I love Phil Collins for never giving up and not letting the music die inside of him. Something my mother would refer to as a deferred dream. Thank you so much, guys, from the bottom of my heart, for tuning in to yet another great episode of Speak Your Mind Radio Music Reviews. I love you, Chicago, and good night.